in this very store, I had my first experience with inflation. There used to be a counter that sat right here, and it was a meat counter, it was a cooler counter, and underneath that, Mr. Chandler kept Coca-Colas, the 6-ounce Coca-Colas. I lived with my sister and my parents and stuff. We lived 2.5 miles south on a dairy farm. 55 was 130 road, and it was mainly sand pits and all of that kind of stuff. But on Saturdays, my dad would give me a nickel to clean the dairy barn. So I'd work like crazy for a couple hours, wash down the dairy barn and all of that, and he'd give me a nickel. And so I remember one time, I was probably about 9 years old, something like that. He gives me my nickel, and it's in the summertime, and I take my bicycle, to ride to town, knowing full well I'm going to push it anyhow, because you can't ride through the sand pits. But anyhow, I come up to town, I put the bicycle down, I come in like I always did, reach under the counter, get my Coca-Cola, pop the top off of it, and go and set it down on the counter and put my nickel down. Mr. Chandler said, "That'll be 6 cents, son." I said, "Wow, 20% inflation, they're killing me, He said, "Don't worry about it, I'll take care of it next time it's 6 cents. I'll never forget that.
Go back to Grandpa and ask for 6 cents. Penny raise.
Sort of grin, that'll be 6 cents. However, how many of you remember buying nickel Coke with other people? Well, anyhow, so now you have a little bit of the history of the building, and my wife and I owned it in I think it was 1974, long in there, 73, 74, long in there. We had it for a little while, parlayed a little bit of money into a major loss, and sold it. And since then, I think there had been five owners, I believe, and now it's owned by Best Bank, I think, in Baldwin County, which is United Bank. Are there any questions? Any questions?
I was just going to add something. You were talking about the bicycle, right?
Yeah.
You're also on, I think, about the 5th hill of the 7 hills to Silverhill.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 55 was dirt, and it was terrible.
It was awful.
I was 13 when I paved it,
Yeah.
and I'm 75, so.
Well, that's right.
I like to go to them hills.
Oh, it was awful. Did you tell them how it was great going
Yeah.
there?
I've got a question. So you bought it in '73. What did you all continue the same type of store, do the same type of business?
We tried to, yeah. The problem that, I've looked at it many times, and there were 2 things that were wrong. Well, 3 things that were wrong. 1, I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
That's the first thing. 2, I was undercapitalized. And 3, it was the beginning of the time of some of the what do you call it, convenience stores and things like that. And so my buying power wasn't enough to be able to sustain that type of business. And that's okay. The learning curve was a little steep, but that's all right. I enjoyed every minute in here, and the people were really fun. I'll tell you a story if you want to hear one more or 2 more stories about a couple other people. There was a lady back in those days that was, I don't know how old she was, but her name was Mrs. Norman Olson. How many of you remember Miss Norman Olson? Well, Miss Norman Olson, I think she was Norwegian. I don't know what she
Dang,
was.
Norwegians.
But anyhow, she didn't speak good Norwegian. She didn't speak good Swedish. She didn't speak good English. And she didn't speak good Czech. And so when you talked to Ms. Norman Olson, it was a real adventure to try to figure out what she was going to say and what she was saying. And she'd get so mad. And she would, but she was a character now, I'm telling you. And there was another gentleman, a black man, who used to come in here, and he was from Daphne, and he worked for one of the contractors here for many, 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 many years. And in Silverhill in its early days were Swedes primarily, were originally. and then it became a Czechoslovakian population. He was telling me one day, we were talking about the early days in the town, this black man and I, and he said, he said the Swedes were pretty good folks till they started mixed marrying with the white folks.
Dang Norwegians.
But anyhow, there were a lot of really delightful folks that came in and served. And one time, there was a man here by the name, he would come down and spend winter times, I think it was. His name was Mr. Lamore. And he always dressed in khakis. He was just as neat as a pin, and he wore a pit helmet. And he was chop. I mean, he was just right there. Well, one day, I was in here by myself, and I was putting up a display of apples. We had a cooler right along in here, putting up this display of apples. And I don't know what I did, but I leaned over, and that's where I stopped. I couldn't get up straight, I couldn't go down, I couldn't move right, I couldn't move left. I thought somebody had stabbed me in the back. Mr. Lamore, he's probably 80, I suppose. He happens to come in the door. And I said, Mr. Lamore, he goes to the phone over there, call my wife, tell her I need some help. He said, what's wrong? I said, I can't move. Oh, he said, when it's like that, I get that. He said, I do this, do some knee bends. And he's, like I said, 80 years old. He goes, boing, boing, boing. And he walked out the door. And fortunately, my wife drove up a minute.
I remember the old gas pump out here,
I was
Daddy
gonna say the same.
pumped the gas up with this glass thing and then put it in his car.
Yeah, that's right. It was over there. You had a pump on the side. You could pump up how many gallons you want. Then by gravity, it fed back into it.
And the kerosene.
And the kerosene thing knocked out. I said, still like a kerosene diesel. I sold, when a hurricane would threaten, well, could you sell some kerosene? Whew, man. I mean, you could sell it like it was gold. And I sold it for 10 cents a gallon. Yeah.
How about Paul Anderson? He was another character.
Yeah, Paul Anderson. I like that. He said, one day, I was talking to Paul Anderson. He was actually the first mayor of Silverhill. He died at the age of about 103, I think.
Yeah.
And he says...
Still driving.
Oh, yeah, he's still driving, yeah. And he says to me, he was telling stories, he said, I can say whatever I want because there's nobody around to dispute me. And he was right, and he would tell you some real yarns. He was a nice old guy. Yeah. There were a lot of real characters in this town, and a lot of folks that worked hard to keep everybody pulled together back in those days, because that's the only way you were going to make it.
Did you tell him how Silverhill got his name?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what the rumor is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Silverhill, actually the name of Silverhill actually has been around since in the 1860s, like 61, I think it was. There was the territory from Fish River all the way out to the Blackwater Creek, or whatever you want to call it, a river, was called Silverhill Territory. And there was a man by the name of Lowell that had, was a lumber company, and supposedly he paid in silver.
Paid in silver, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And people would say, well, I'm going to go to the hill to get my silver, the workers did. And that's how Silverhill got its name. It's as good a story as I could think of. I'll go with it. I mean, we can't.
It's the one I've always heard.
Yeah, it'll work. I mean, and it's probably true.
He had a turpentine plant.
Yeah.
And he would go across Mobile Bay.
Well, Silverhill actually is right up there by the park. That's
Oscar Johnson Park.
Oscar Johnson Park is Silverhill.
Yeah, he would go into
They want to go to
Mobile
Hill.
on his horse, and he would have to go and get silver. He had to go get it in Mobile,
Yeah.
which was a long trek back then. I mean, and on a horse with lots of silver. It probably was dangerous too, coming back and
He got silver because he went through the water and he didn't want the paper to get wet. Is
That's
what I
right.
was heard.
He went through the
Well,
water.
that worked, all of
lay
those
on his
stories, that
shorts.
worked, I mean, hey, you know, who's gonna dispute
Makes
them?
a good story. Hey,
Yeah.
Nobody can
So you
dispute
bring
you.
it back and they would go to the hill to get their money.
Yes,
How long have you lived in Silverhill?
how long have I lived in Silverhill? Well, 73 years at this point.
Where were you born, Peco?
I was born in a farmhouse 2.5 miles
Where you?
south.
In a barn?
I was born in Jordan Clinic.
Huh?
Harold, I was born in Jordan
Oh,
Clinic.
you were
I was
high
up
class. I don't know, my sister, were you born in the house?
Yeah, we were both born
Yeah,
down
we were born
there.
in the house down here. Yeah, yeah.
I was born a mile down the road.
Okay, okay, there you go, see? And back in the, back years ago when we were young, well, that's all relative term, but back in the 40s and the 50s, particularly in the 40s, early 50s, when you walk down the street in Silverhill and you talk to people, you could hear the dialects, couldn't you? You could hear the Swede and the Czechs. You could hear all of that, and some of it a combination between the two, you know. And those were the Swedes that married with the white folks. They talked funny too. And, but it was interesting, and you knew everybody. Everybody that came to town, we knew them.
Used to have a theater here.
Yeah, the town had a theater. It had a couple hotels.
We had hotels, yeah. There was a bank.
Yeah, it had, well, in the 20s, it had a bank that went across the street over here. It had a fairground. It had a shipping shed. It had all kinds of stuff. This was going to be the center of the county. And when the railroad came where Robertsdale is, Silverhill built a station or a depot out there called Silverhill Depot. And it's still there. And there was a hotel called Silverhill Hotel. Well, transportation is key to prosperity, and the town of Robertsdale grew up around that. And this town began to decline as far as its importance commercially, and became pretty much a bedroom community. Yes, Suzanne?
Not a question, but before everybody breaks up, I just want you to know that at 1 o'clock, the Lutheran Church, Judy Easley will be our speaker. We'd like to hear the history of one of the oldest churches in town.
Y'all come.
All right, any more questions?
And before everybody leaves, I just want to let y'all know we have aprons for sale that have the People Supply Company on the picture of the building. Something that they may have worn back then while they were like, Peco has on, he's wearing a suit, and Ms. Langley and Mr. Langley have on. They're $15.
Don't forget to get your tax token if you want one for curiosity. They're free. This one.